Hey guys, Sebo here. Going to shoot another video on how to build a chatbot on VoiceFlow. But unlike the previous video I did, which was pretty basic, we're going to get into some advanced concepts today. I'm going to build a lead capture chatbot on VoiceFlow. So we're going to look at things like variables, buttons, doing an integration with Make, which is kind of a competitor to Zapier, just a lot cheaper. And so the chatbot we will build today is a lead generation chatbot. And so what I'm thinking is I'll start off by showing you what the finished product is and kind of explaining where it would sit in a user journey for a user that's kind of looking to buy or sell a property. Discuss some of the value that this chatbot would have to a real estate company. And then I'll go through and I'll just walk you through all the building blocks in the hope that there's enough value on this video that you can go out and actually build your own one. Okay, so let's start off with just kind of placing this chatbot and how it fits into like a user journey within the real estate industry. So this is Highland Property. This is a local real estate company in Sydney, Australia. That's where I live. You can probably pick by the accent. And they absolutely clean up. And so this is on the website here, and you can see people are coming to this website to buy, rent, sell, looking for agents, looking for the offices, etc. And where we'd want to place this chatbot is on their website, right? So a user comes to their website, the chatbot's here, and a user can chat to it and get the information they're looking for. And for the real estate company, the value for them is being able to make sure someone's come to the website, let's answer their questions, convey value to them, but capture their information so one of the agents can follow up and actually turn this kind of cold traffic that's on their website into a customer of theirs. Okay, so that's kind of how we'd place it, where we'd place it, and then this is kind of what it would look like. Let me get myself out of the way. All right, and so what you should be ignoring is just like the text I'm putting here, right? And more look at it at a foundational level around like how the buttons are working and what a variable's doing, right? Because this text here, if I was going to implement this for a client or I had a business and I wanted to implement in my own business, I'd spend a bit more time crafting the intro messages and the text, right? But anyway, let's crack on. So someone lands on their website, they get greeted with this message: "Hi, thanks for stopping by to Highland Property. How can I help you today?" Let's assume I'm selling my property. So sell property. How can we help you today? Great to hear you're looking to sell your property. I need a few more details before we can move forward. What is your name? Bob Smith. Really original with my names, my fake characters for my chatbot. What is your email? bobsmith@gmail.com. Awesome, Bob Smith. And finally, what is your mobile number? 0482. ... Okay, that's actually what a mobile number looks like here. Very different to other parts of the world. Okay, then you can see, great, thanks for providing the following information. So we're relaying it back to the user to make sure we've captured it properly. Now what question do you have about selling property? And then this is quite similar to what I did last week, where you can, if you have a knowledge base, they can all ask all sorts of questions that we'll be able to answer. So let's just go. Why Highland Property? All right, you could ask something like that. And away we go. So at a high level, this is the chatbot. Here we go. Here are a couple of reasons why Highland Property, yada yada yada. All right. So let's go and create this chatbot. Oh, sorry, this has actually gone out of the screen now, has it not? All right, we're back in. All right, so this is the chatbot we're going to build. And I'm going to show you how to build it from scratch. All right, so we need to get back in the dashboard. Got to create a new assistant. So let's go Highland Property, lead capture. So numerous channels you can deliver this through. This is just going to be a web chat, right? Because we're going to put it on their website. Now we're going to create the assistant. So it is pretty neat that VoiceFlow give you these kind of instructions straight in here, but we don't need that because I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. All right, so let's build that chatbot. So what we're going to do is we had the intro message, right? So that's text. So we come to talk and we put the text box here, and the intro message was something along the lines of, hey, thanks for stopping by to Highland Property. How can we help you? How can I help you today? Right? When you do generate here, what this is actually doing is it's using AI to generate different versions of this text, so a user's not seeing Highland Property. So the user's not seeing the same message all the time, right? So, okay, there's a variant. Cool. Then you'll remember the next thing we had was we kind of want to identify what the user is hoping to do on the website today, or they're hoping to, how they're trying to engage with Highland, right? And then, so what we want to do here is we want to listen. We want to kind of get a response from the user, right? And so we know there's a couple of things someone wants to do here. They want to buy a property. They want to sell a property. They want to rent a property. Or they want to lease a property. Okay. Let's assume that. What we also want to be doing here at the same time is, so this is, we've given an intro text, right? And let's just actually connect this up. And now we're going to listen, right? So I pulled this listen, we've gone to listen. I now put some buttons down here. And we want to capture this information though, because this information is going to be important later when we export it out to Make into like a Google Sheet, right? Where we really capture the lead. So we're capturing Bob Smith's name or whatever the guy's name was, right? But we're actually capturing like why he's actually on the website, right? So how we're going to do that is essentially by creating a variable. So we're going to set a variable. So a variable is essentially just a container for storing data, right? So the data we're storing here is essentially our offering, solution, intent data. So what I'll call this variable here, I'm just going to call it our offering, like offering. That's a good enough name. Create variable offering. And then within this like container of data that we're going to have to what are the different options, right? So you'll see how this kind of exports in a moment, but let's just go buy property. Will be about this value, sorry, this variable. Okay, that's that. So when the user clicks buy property, we're essentially storing this variable. So let's do sell property. Because we've already created that offering variable, it should be good. Sell property. Once again, rent property. Probably need a little bit of a divider UX wise here, offering and lease property. Okay. All right, don't forget your comments here, or it won't work. It'll serve up an error message. Watch. All right. Okay. So then what we want to do is we've given them the intro message. Now they've told us they're purchasing, like what they're here to do. Now we want to respond to that. Right. So we want to say something like, but we want to respond to in a way that we've kind of told the user that we've listened to them, right? So it's like, great to hear you are looking to offering. So whatever they've told us they're planning to do, or like their reason for how we can help, right? That word's going to go here, okay? And then I need a few more details before we can move forward, right? I'm not gonna, and then let's put another text box in, right? And this is where we're going to start to capture the lead information. What is your name? Okay. All right, let me just give a quick play of this just so you can see what's happened so far. Hi, thanks for stopping by to Highland Property. How can we help you today? All right, so that's what we just built. Okay, I'm going to say sell property. Oh, you know what? I didn't connect it. What you need to do. This is a good little learning on the fly here. I always forget to do this. I just think it's going to magically do this stuff for me, but it doesn't. You need to actually connect the blocks. You need to actually indicate when they hit this button, what block do we take them to next. All right, round 2 on this. This should work now, just so you can see in real time how this is all coming together. Great to hear to look at property. I need a few more details before we can move forward. What is your name? Awesome, okay. All right, so the next block here, we actually need to capture the user's name. So now we're back to listening, and now we're going to okay. So I won't forget the dots again. What is your name? And then we're going to serve them up this. So then the user's got to respond. And what we want to do, we don't have a name, so we want to create another variable here. And this, I feel like, is a little buggy here at the moment around how they're creating their variables. But we want to create a variable here called full name. Okay. And then we want to, there we go. Okay. So we're going to say, great to hear you're looking for selling property. I need more details before we can move forward. What is your name? What is your full name? Okay. And now we're kind of going to repeat this process a little bit. All right. So we've caught the name. We should capture their name. And that's pretty cool what I just did. I'll just able to copy and paste. So I can do something like, so now we've caught their name. So it's like, thanks. And now let's reference that name because we know their name now, and who doesn't love to be called by their name? What's your mobile number? Okay, I think in my other example I essentially asked for their email, but let's just keep it simple and make this video not too long. What's your mobile number? Okay, then we want to capture their response, right? And if you're picking up what's going on here, so you want to have entire user reply, and what they reply we want to store as their mobile number, right? And because we want to store that as their mobile number as its own little variable, we're going to need to create a new variable, right? So let's just go mobile number. Okay. All right, so now we've created that variable mobile number, so we're going to store it as a mobile number. Thanks, what is your mobile number? We're going to capture the user's response. And then what we want to do next, right? I'm not going to ask for the email because we're essentially just repeating this pattern, so I think you guys kind of get that. What you want to do next, right, is Actually, I'll do this right at the end. I'll show you. We at this point we could probably send our information off to Make or Zapier to like capture the leads in a third party system. What we might just do right now is just kind of tell the user, thanks, how can we help you? Thanks for the details, how can we help you? Okay, thanks for the details, how can we help you today? Actually, no, it's like, thanks for your details. Thanks for the details, what questions do you have about, let's do offering, right? So now, if they've chosen selling, selling will appear here. If they chose renting, or renting will appear here, etc. Okay. All right, and then next, we need to listen. Now we need to hear their response, and so what we want here is just last utterance. That's just we'll store their response will be last utterance. Essentially, what did they last say? Okay. And if you remember back to my clip last week, this is where we would we want to use this AI response AI, and this is how you do the knowledge base stuff that I was showing last week, right? I don't actually have anything in the knowledge base right now, right? So let's add something from the knowledge base. Our story. You know what? I should have pre-prepared. All right, let's use selling. All right, they've got an FAQ here. So you can, I think last week I uploaded a knowledge base by text. So I'm just gonna, here's an FAQ there. What other FAQ information do they have here? Let me just move me out of the way. Why sell with us? That's another link. All right, you get the point. You add a couple of URLs here. I'm not going to go too much into the knowledge base side. I did a bit of that last week. So we've added this. You could add the different types of knowledge bases you can add here. I've just pulled a couple of URLs out. So let's go back to the designer. And what we want. You know what? Let's actually just come back out. Sometimes you need to just do a quick refresh of there. All right, let's just come back and connect some of the... Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes if you're adding different knowledge bases and going to different sites, you just kind of need to jump back out of the dashboard and come back in. And things will start to work again. Okay. So I've just added that knowledge base. And what we want here is something like respond to... This is essentially, we're asking the AI, last utterance, based on the information in the knowledge base. Okay, something like that. Okay, you can preview that. I won't do that now because I know this video is actually getting a bit longer than I thought it would be. Okay, so this is the same loop that we had. Respond based on here. We had last week. Then this, we want to capture, and then we essentially want to ask straight after it any other questions. Okay. And then button 1, yes. Button 2, no. Okay. And then we need to have a next step if they say yes. And if they say no, we can just end it, right? So just a reminder, thanks for the detail. We've captured the lead's information. What questions do you have about the offering? We're capturing their response here. And then now we're using AI and the knowledge base to answer it. And now we're saying to the user, do you have any other questions? Yes or no? And so if we go yes, we can go, what's your next question? Your next question. All right. Let's start here. And if it's no, what's your next question? And then we want that response to come all the way back up here. And if it's no, we can just bring this to an end, right? That pass will come to the end. Okay, so let's see this. Let's test this out. Let me move myself out of the way again. Sell property. Let's do sell property. Great to hear you're looking to sell a property. I need a few more details. What is your name? Billy Bob. What is your mobile number? 222. Awesome. Thanks for the detail box and you have about selling property. Why Highland? Sure, I choose Highland. Obviously, like a user might ask questions like, how much is it? Like, how much do you guys charge? What is the sales process, etc., etc. Right? Any other questions? No. And I haven't actually built a no pass. Okay. So that's the flow at a high level, right? That's actually a lot of the building blocks. There's obviously different paths that a user can go through that I haven't mapped through, but at its core, there's enough there now that you can actually build a pretty sophisticated lead capture bot for real estate agents or whatever use case you're looking for or whatever business you're in. The last thing that I will show you is just how to do send this data to like Make or Zapier or something like that. All right, so let me just get it back into the designer. So what you want to do here is get rid of this little connection and instead you want to pull out the API block. And what we're doing here, so this is Make. I've already pre-planned this. So I've already created the webhook, etc. And this is 22 minutes. I don't want this to go too much longer. But what you're essentially doing here is you're creating a new scenario in Make. And you can do this on Zapier, right? I've just done Make because it's cheaper. And what you're looking to do here is create a webhook. And so what the webhook is doing... Let me just find this. That's what you're looking for. All right, you come in here if you're using Make, and you're looking for a custom webhook. And what we're doing here is we want to receive the data from Webflow. Sorry, I keep saying Webflow, VoiceFlow. All right, so that's what you're looking for. Okay. Webhook, value bus. So you follow the steps here, right? And what you're actually then doing is you're generating a address in Make. Okay. I'm not going to do this full step here. Let me just copy address to clipboard. Right, so in Make, you're doing a webhook, you're trying to receive the data from another platform, an integration, and then you come into here. And what you want to do is you want to post. So post, you're sending information to this address. That's essentially what you're doing, okay? And then you come in here, and this is where it's important. Like creating variables and the data, etc., that you send off. So I'll pull in the actual details here just to cut down the curve. This is what it should look like, right? You put the URL here, okay? put the URL here, you tell the variables you want to send off, etc., etc., etc. Then you go into Make. You have to spend a bit more time in Make setting this up to send the leads across. But when you do have it set up, let's just go into webhooks. You can see some of the webhooks I've sent yesterday, just testing this information. The data, there's the URL, right? You can see it's active, and you can see the logs and the information come across, right? There are 6 records in this queue. And then you can see, right? Bob Smith, 04AA8175432, Bob Smith, sell property, etc. So you can see the records are getting sent, or the data's getting sent, the leads are getting sent from VoiceFlow, that chatbot, into Make. And then from here, you can export it into a Google Sheet, push it into a CRM for an agent to follow up, etc., etc. So, guys, that is today's video. It was a bit of a longer one. I think it's coming up to 26 minutes, I think I've got here. We've learned a lot today. We've gone through variables, how to use buttons, how to connect it to Make, use the API widget to send stuff across. It's awesome. Really enjoying using VoiceFlow. Jump in, guys, have a play. If you get stuck, send me some messages. Happy to help out where I can. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. Peace.